Central banks, how our views compare to yours? We ran a series of live polls at our recent Economics Live webinar earlier this week, and this is how the views of our listeners compare to our own. You can listen back to our event via our Think Aloud podcast. On Monday, 11th of March, we hosted over 400 ING customers and colleagues in a live webinar, looking at the latest central bank meetings and our longer-term expectations. China economy likely off to muted start as 5% GDP goal in focus. China's economic activity was likely mixed at the start of the year, with property remaining a major drag, raising doubts about the nation's ability to gain momentum and hit an ambitious growth target of around 5%. Data due Monday is expected to show year-on-year growth, retail sales and industrial output slowing compared to December, according to economists surveyed by Bloomberg. Stripping out base effects, momentum was probably little changed. Property development investment is seen plunging as the sector fails to mount a meaningful turnaround. Second Trump term would spark a 3% dollar rally, Barclays says. The U.S. dollar would be poised to rally 3% if former President Donald Trump is re-elected in November based on his policy proposals for more tariffs, economic stimulus and a weaker commitment to NATO, according to foreign exchange strategists at Barclays plc. A number of candidate Trump's flagship proposals across trade, fiscal and foreign policy amount to a structural break with the past, with potentially far-reaching implications for FX markets and the dollar. Barclays strategists including Themystical's Fiatakis wrote in a Thursday note to clients. Market players await wage result key to BOJ rate hike calculus. Japan's largest union group will release the most closely scrutinized wage figures in decades on Friday, numbers that may be strong enough to nudge the central bank toward raising interest rates for the first time since 2007. Rengo, a federation of unions, will announce the result in the afternoon after having collated the results of its constituents, many of which have already announced agreements to hike wages by 5% or more. An outcome around that level would far outpace the initial 3.8% tally a year ago, which itself was the biggest in 30 years. On the improved BUSINESSNZ performance of manufacturing. Activity in New Zealand's manufacturing sector continued to show improvement in February, but still remained in contraction, according to the latest BUSINESSNZ Performance of Manufacturing Index, PMI. The seasonally adjusted PMI for February was 49.3, a PMI reading above 50.0 indicates that manufacturing is generally expanding, below 50.0 that it is declining. This was up from 47.5 in January and the highest level of activity since February 2023. However, the sector has now been in contraction for 12 consecutive months. Thank you.